Hi theconnleyclan fam! So you know those crazy family YouTube people who film their children and then put them on YouTube? Today we're going to talk about them. So I got a question from a viewer, Misha Hayes. Thank you, Misha, because I think that this is going to be an interesting topic. I'm going to share my feelings and my perspective on it, and then I would love to hear your perspective in the comments. Okay, so I am wearing my black glasses today. They are broken. I cannot find my blue ones, and so I don't know what happened to them, but I need these just to read the question. So Misha asks, there is a societal shift happening currently where large adoptive families are being shunned and called out for exploiting their children for money. There have been several popular families that have overshared what should be considered confidential medical information about their children. At some point, they will be blacklisted. How do you and Sean feel about this? Well, today it is me. Sean is working out in the barn, but I thought that this was a very good topic to talk about. So the first thing that I want to say about this is I feel like there are child actors in Hollywood, and there will always be child actors in Hollywood. Like, that's not going to go away. So children working on TV for money, like, that's just a thing. And so I'm not sure how come people on YouTube get such a hard time about it, because it happens every day. And actually, my feeling on it is that the kids who are on actual like TV, like on TV shows, I feel like they end up having a lot worse happen to them. They end up, you know, I've heard stories. People have just recently come out actually and said that they were abused physically, sexually, that, you know, they had to work long hours, that they, all kinds of things that you don't want for your children. Now, if we were ever approached, and not that we would ever be, but if we were ever approached to be on TV, we would 100% say no. With what we're doing, at least on our family channel, we are able to control what we share and what we don't share. We are able to decide who's on and who's not. If somebody doesn't want to film, they don't have to film. If I don't feel like filming, I don't have to film. Now, if you're on TV, like on a TV show or a reality TV show, you don't really get that choice. They come into your home, and this is just what I know about it. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but they come into your house and they have cameras, you know, on you at all times. And of course, they always want to share the most dramatic things. It's like absolutely nothing at all is private. They like to film the fights, you know, the disagreements, the kids fighting, and because really that's what sells. You know, it's too bad that it's that way, but that is what sells TV a lot of times, is the drama. And so we do like to show real life, and I feel like we do show real life, but we're able to control what you see and what you don't. So if we have a couple kids that are having a really bad day and they're having behaviors, or they're fighting with their siblings, that's not stuff that we're going to show. Not because we don't want to show reality, but because I just feel like that's not something that you want to show. You know, you don't want people to think bad things about your children, because everybody has a bad day. And you're allowed to have a bad day, and that's okay. And those days, we just don't film, or we just don't film those kids. And so I feel like there's so much more control with a YouTube channel. Also, as far as money goes, I just think that that's crazy. Yes, there are some family channels out there, and they make a lot of money. But for like right now, and I hope someday, honestly, I hope someday we can get there. But you know who's going to benefit out of that money? Our kids will get the benefit out of that. You know, they'll just get to go do more things. And we believe in spoiling our kids to a certain extent. I do not believe in over spoiling, but I do like them to have some of the things that they want. We always obviously give them the things that they need. And They might just get more opportunities, or maybe we'd put that away for college, or maybe if they wanted to take a trip when they got older, we could save some of that, for a trip they wanted to do, or just anything like that. We could do things on the farm, extra things on the farm we maybe couldn't have done, or things like that. So, but right now, it honestly takes a lot of energy and effort to have a YouTube channel. And I feel like you have to really, really want to do it, enjoy it. I can't imagine somebody going through all this work that didn't enjoy doing it, because really, we make almost no money. And we've been doing this for almost 3 years. And it is really, really hard to grow a YouTube channel. I know a lot of you guys have mentioned in the comments, you're not sure how come we don't have more subscribers. And honestly, I'm not sure either. I feel like we, even though we just film real life, I feel like we have a lot of adventures and we have a lot of fun and we do a lot of things just in our regular life. Not only, do we have a large family that is unique, but we also have a homestead that we're starting, and we're going in between 2 houses, and we have all these adventures, I feel like. And so I'm not sure either. And maybe this is what you're talking about, Misha. Maybe we're just not getting pushed out by YouTube, and so we're not seen as much, and so maybe we're not growing as fast. That is, I don't know that that's what's happening, but it could be. So you had made a comment about there is a societal shift and family channels are starting to be shunned. Now, I have not heard that. 3 years ago when we started this journey, YouTube did make a shift, and it happened right before we started. And it was either you have to label yourself as a made for kids or a not made for kids channel. And really that's going to be who's going to watch your channel. So if you look at our demographics are 90% women, and our biggest percentage age group is 45 to 55. But we have 3 age groups that watch us that are really close, like within 0.5% of each other. And so really anywhere from 35 to 65 is our age group. So that definitely is not children watching us. So our channel is not made for children, even though we have children on our vlog. The content that we make is geared more towards adults. So we do have to mark our videos that way, and so you cannot be made for kids, because they will not show ads and stuff on channels that are made for children. And a lot of times they get stuck on the YouTube Kids, which actually our kids have YouTube Kids, and so they use that, but they don't put ads on that. So I want to read the last part of your question. It was about oversharing. And okay, so again, there's a societal shift happening currently where large adoptive families are being shunned and called out for exploiting their children for money. Okay, so as far as exploiting children, I do think that there are probably some channels out there that do that. I don't feel like our channel, the way we have our setup, is one of them, because all we do is just film our everyday life. We go outside, we take the camera, we show what's going on, we're working on our tiny house, the kids are making clay pots. We're honestly just filming what they're doing. They're not asked, to be, they could choose not to be on, but it's not like we ask them to do things. There are some family channels where they have, I feel like they actually have to do work, because they go on these like fake adventures that they have. Or I do know of a family channel that actually has quite a few viewers. I think I've never met them. I've heard they're a great family, but they talk more about YouTube as a business for their whole family. And I don't look at ours that way. I look at ours, I do see it as somewhat of a business, because I have just an entrepreneurial brain, but I don't look at it that way for our kids, because if they told us one day that we could not do a family vlog, our YouTube channel would just become more informational. Right now I feel like we're an edutainment type of vlog. So we film our family, but I feel like you guys can learn a lot from what we film. We also do a lot of informational videos, and talk about the good and the bad about things like adoption and ICPCs. And so we would probably just shift our channel to more of an informational channel if we couldn't do that. I can't see them taking family vlogs away, especially the ones that are doing it right, I feel like. And I do feel that there is kind of a wrong way and a right way to do it, but who am I to say? That's honestly just my opinion. So the second part to your question was, there have been several popular families that have overshared what should be considered confidential medical information about their children. So I think that that's a tough one, because I find myself being stuck in a position where when I had a lot of questions when we were raising Brianna, and she was having all kinds of behaviors, and we found out she had ADHD and ODD, and we ran into all these things, and I had all these questions about it. What are other families experiencing? What can I do for her? Are there things that I'm not being told? You know, the feeling of, am I alone? Am I the only one going through this? I can't possibly be the only one going through this. And what are other people experiencing? And okay, so I went out there and I looked for as much information as I could to help me. And so the only way that you get that knowledge is if people are sharing what they're experiencing with their kids. And so I find myself in a catch-22 there, because we have shared, that we have children with ADHD and sensory issues, and what we've gone through and what that looks like for us, and what you can do, if you're going through the same thing. And I feel like it's such a positive thing to be able to share that, so that way other people know what you're experiencing and what they can do, maybe things that they haven't thought of. We have a whole sensory video that we've talked about all of the sensory input items that we have that maybe other people wouldn't have thought about, or maybe if you're seeing this, that it could mean this, or talking about, the IEPs that the kids have and what that looked like and how we got them. And there's so much information I feel like to share, but I also agree that there is a fine line that you walk with sharing information about your children. And our kids like to share their stories. They really it really is empowering to them. It really helps them work through it. It helps them let go. It makes them feel, I think, liberated, that they were able to tell everybody, listen, this is what happened to me, and it makes them feel better. It's very therapeutic, and I feel like that's such a good thing, and so I am very torn about sharing information. Now, I feel like we have walked that line very carefully, because we are careful about what we share. We always talk to the kids about the good and the bad, and what that looks like. And then a lot of times we'll let them decide. Now, there are things that we make sure we don't share. We never share names. There are things that have happened that we say, that is not something that we should probably share. And so we certainly do not share everything. There are a lot of things that are kept private. But then there are other things that we feel like are okay to share. And so just finding that fine line, I feel like. Now, as far as being blacklisted, I haven't heard anything about that. I do know that I've heard other large family channels talking about that they start to be looked at as made for kids, And so they were trying to do things to make sure that they weren't looked at as made for kids. And I do find sometimes that even though we have really, really good statistics, like people choose to watch our videos quite a bit, we have a really long watch time, our videos don't seem to get pushed out. And so maybe that is what's happening. And I said that earlier, and I don't know that. Part of me thinks that. There are times where I feel like our channel grows really super fast, and then I'll put out a video. For instance, I did the Kids Take Over the Vlog video, and that vlog got almost no views, and the comments got turned off. And anytime that happens, I know that YouTube thinks there's something wrong with that video. And I think it was because I used the word kids in my, like, kids take over, and then kids and vlog maybe. I think they looked at that video as a made for kids video then. And so you have to be really careful too about your wording and the, like, what you're, because it wasn't much different than any of the other vlogs that we do, other than it was the kids' perspective, which I feel like is a good thing. But when the comments got turned off, I knew that, you know, YouTube was like, red flag. And so I did go in and I changed the way I worded some of the stuff in that title and thumbnail and things like that. So there are YouTube channels out there that are like 100%, the entire channel is bashing family YouTubers. And I don't even know how that's allowed, because I think that that's so horrible. What a negative channel to have, to just go out and bash family YouTubers. Because I feel like most of us are really good people with really good families that have really good intentions. And so I'm not sure what that's all about. And I mean, I'm sure that there are families out there that aren't great. I think most of us are good. And I don't know why you would want to go out. Everybody has bad days. You know, there are some families out there and people will release like YouTube shorts on them where it shows them like yelling at their kids, and I think if we all looked within our own homes, we would know that everybody has bad days, that I mean, everybody slips up and yells at their kids sometimes. You know, you get frustrated. Even adults have emotions, and I'm not sure why people think it's so cool to be negative when I feel like that's just reality. Do I get frustrated with my kids? Of course I do. You know, have I yelled before? Of course I have. Does that make me a bad person? No. Does that mean I do that all the time? No, absolutely not. And so I feel like one bad thing or one thing you say that gets misconstrued by somebody, you know, and you didn't even mean it that way, or just like with our video, they crossed a line. That's what it was called. They crossed a line, and we talked about some of our beliefs, and some of the comments on that video were not very nice. And so, you know, people could take that video and go bash us, or, you know, try to dig up dirt on you where there might not be any, but you know, they take the littlest thing and they'll blow it up. And I think that's part of just being in the spotlight, you know, having this type of life where you show your family. And so I guess I expect that. And it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson for me. It's a good lesson for the kids, you know, but you have to take everything that people say with a grain of salt, I feel like, because people love to blow things out of proportion. I totally believe that. And I've listened just a couple times because I don't want to give these family channel bashers any views, but I'll listen to them. And I'm just like, wow, really? And I think there's just some things that you just don't understand. You know, there was this, I cannot remember her name, but she, the whole story got blown up. She had adopted a little boy from China, and he went to another family. And I know it's hard to believe, but there is such a thing as an adoption. You're not supposed to do that. You know, it's obviously frowned upon. But we took some kids in who had been adopted, and then their behaviors were so hard that the family just couldn't do it anymore, and the kids went back into foster care. And that happens. I was actually going to do a video on that because it's very sad. But when you have a child in your home and you never know what the person next door is going through, you have a child in your home, and if that child is making false accusations about you, or if that child is hurting another child in your home, or if that child is so out of control that you don't know what to do, or if that child, and these things happen, and you can't find the help or the support or the resources, or you've never been through it and you don't know what to do, that can be a really tough place to be in. And I don't think that it's fair to judge. I just don't think it's fair to judge people when and if you have never been through that, and you don't know exactly what they're going through, because I can guarantee you that there is more to that story than anybody knows. So, and that's just because I've been in the adoption world. And so I always like to tell you guys, give people grace, because you just never know what they're going through. And things like that happen. False accusations happen. And kids who just, who are scared and don't want to get close, they'll say anything to get out of a home, or they'll do anything. There's runners. There's all kinds of things that I think people don't think about and they don't understand because they've never been in this field. So I do like to shine light on some of that stuff, because I would have never thought about it until we did it. So I think that family vlogs are awesome. We obviously have one ourselves. We love doing it. The kids love doing it. And we wouldn't be doing this almost 3 years later if we didn't all love it. Because when they talk about making money, off of your kids, well, that doesn't happen until you get 100,000 subscribers, or you get 100,000 views on your video, and then let's talk about the money. But and then after you've worked that hard for that long, I almost feel like you deserve it. You really deserve it, because we put our hearts into our channel, and we love hanging out with you guys, and we love taking you along, and we love having the conversations in the comments, and the kids love, checking and seeing what you guys are saying, and so we really do love this. So Misha and everybody else out there, I want to know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? And has my perspective changed your thoughts at all on what you thought before you watched this video? Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of the questions. Thank you for giving me all the amazing video ideas, because it has been really helpful, and I really appreciate you guys so much. And you guys are so nice in the comments, and you guys have just the best things to say, and it makes us all feel so good. It makes us happy. You say we make you happy, and you guys make us happy too. Thank you for coming along today, and I hope you learned a little something too. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.